With so many crochet hooks out in the marketplace, it is no wonder if you're new to crochet why you could have a little bit of trouble figuring out which one is going to be the best hook for you. Now, there's inline crochet hooks, there's tapered crochet hooks. I've even learned now that there are hybrid crochet hooks. Never even heard of it. But in this video, we're going to break down the two types, inline and tapered, go over that so that you can be a more informed shopper and less confused when you go to buy your crochet hooks. So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tasha. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as promised in the intro, we're going to do our mini deep dive into the different types of crochet hooks. We have our tapered hook, and then we have our inline hook. So I'm going to take you over to my tutorial table and we're going to do our segment on that. Come on back and then I'll show you my stash of crochet hooks and what I'm kind of digging on right now and my likes and dislikes of those. With an inline hook, the head of the hook is exactly the same width as the shaft and it stays perfectly in line with that shaft of the hook, hence the name. These hooks have a pointed head and have a deep, flat bevel to the hook. Now, there are definitely some benefits to this inline design. First, stitch consistency. Now, because the throat is the same width as the shaft, your loops are more apt to stay more uniform if you use this type of hook. There's also grip. The deep groove that's in the crochet hook, the yarn is more apt to stay securely on the hook, preventing it from slipping off. Then there's the component that's said for beginners that don't quite have their tension down, so that grip is important, and for amigurumi makers who like those tight stitches. Now, there's also an issue with this type of hook as well. Some say that there are snags and it requires more wrist movement when you use this type of hook. Now, with the tapered hook, the neck narrows down below the head and the head itself often extends slightly forward or is more rounded. These hooks typically have a rounded head and a shallower throat. Now, there definitely are some advantages and disadvantages of using a tapered crochet hook. As far as glide is concerned, it does have the smoothest glide. Because of the shallow throat, it allows the yarn to slide on and off quickly for faster stitching. Now, this is an opinion, but some say that this type of hook would be best for more experienced crocheters because of that glide. And crocheters like to use this for blankets and natural fibers like silk or bamboo. Some of the disadvantages are that the loops can tighten around that narrow neck, sometimes leading to tighter or uneven tension. And the yarn may slip off the hook more easily if your tension is very loose. Now, this is all subjective, and either one you can use at your own discretion. As you start to play around with yarn and get your own techniques down, you're going to know which ones work best for you and which ones don't. It is all preference. And again, these are all suggestive usage for these two type of hooks. So now that we got the technical part out the way, let's get into the fun stuff with the stash. So I have to let you guys know, to be transparent, I love tapered hooks better than inline hooks. That's just my personal preference and how I crochet. But to be honest with you, I did start out with inline crochet hooks. That just was in my price range. I didn't know any better if they were inline or tapered or whatever, but it just so happened that that's where I started off with. So, and I think that this is a story for a lot of crocheters in the fact that they've started off with inline hooks. But you let me know in the comments what you started out with. So I'm going to go from more budget friendly to things that are kind of like medium priced so that you would get an idea of what's out there in the market, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to start with all my inline hooks, and then I'm going to go to my tapered. So for my first inline ones, and these are the ones that I first bought when I wanted to learn how to crochet, was everybody, I think everyone has these. These are the Susan Bates aluminum hooks. These are inline, and you can see how the head of the hook goes right in line with the shaft here. So these are very budget friendly. You can find these in any big box store, or you can find these on Amazon as well. And for everything that I have in my stash, I will put the links in the description. So if you want to pick up something, feel free to do so. But these are very budget friendly. You can start your crochet journey off with these. The only critique that I have with these is, for me personally, is that as you see here, there's no comfort grip or anything on these. So for me to crochet with these for a long extended amount of time is just not feasible for me. My hands and my wrists do get a little tired with these, but again, I think these are a great go-to. Get these if you don't even know whether you want to, crochet or not. You're just not sure. Don't make, in my opinion, a big investment in something you're not sure whether you're going to want to do or not. So these Susan Bates are a classic. Pick up these any big box store or Amazon. You'll be good to go. They come in a variety of sizes. Definitely a go-to. Now, if you now find out that, once again, I was in the store, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just picking up things. It just said crochet hook. That's what I got. But these are, I think, for me, I like these better in the Susan Bates. These are I believe they're called the Silverloo, and I'm looking down at my notes as I'm chatting with you guys. So I like these better for an inline option. If you want to go the Susan Bates route, they have that comfort grip here, and they are inline as well. Again, another budget-friendly option. Definitely a go-to, for me, if I'm using a yarn that is, I would say, kind of delicate, slippery. These catch on really, really nicely. I like this hook very much, so I would highly, highly recommend this one if you like inline and you want something that's budget friendly. So these are, definitely a go-to for me. So let me go on to another inline that I have in my stash here. Now, this is another popular one as well for inlines. This is the prim hook. Now, a lot of people use these prim hooks. They swear by them. They think that they're great. I hope people don't click off after I say this. I am personally not a fan of these, but that's not to say that they are a bad item. For me, they just catch too much. I just cannot get the feel of these at all. This handle here is rather long for me. I have smaller hands, so a long handle just doesn't really work for me. But that's not to say that it's not going to work for you. This hook is not expensive in my opinion, so this could be an option as well if you like rubber and you want to try something other than aluminum. This is a option as well. It doesn't happen to be my favorite, but this is a popular one that people like. I wanted to try it out just to say that I tried it. Not for me, but it could definitely be an option for you. But what is for me, clearly I like the aluminums better, but Prim has another type of hook as well. Now this one was a little hard to find. I found this one on Amazon, but if you like the Prim brand and you like inline hooks, they do have an aluminum version as well. Budget friendly as well. I'm the budget friendly girl over here. But they do have a aluminum option as well. So this one for me, the handle is kind of long, but I can manage this one a lot better than the one that I previously showed you. So this is an option as well. If you want and like aluminum and you like the Prim brand, you can try this one as well. Again, these will all be in the description, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. I'll provide all of that for you. But this is an option as well. I like this one better than the prim one that I showed you. So I will pick this one up occasionally, not my go-to, but if I need something inline, I would definitely pick this one over the one that I showed you before for the prims. So, and because I just like to try things, and they had a little sale on these at Amazon. I'm a sucker for a sale. So this is another inline option as well. So this has the, this is plastic, I believe. And these were very affordable. This is another option you could go on Amazon and buy if you can't get to a big box store. So these are by Semia. I'll put the name up here. I think that's how you pronounce it. But these are, you know, you get a good pack of these. I think you get about 6 or 7 in the pack. Again, I'll link it in the description. But this is an inline option, very cost friendly. This part here is not terrible to work with. I just, from my own, how my body works, I can't use this for a long amount of time. I need like a comfort grip. But if that doesn't bother you, and you know, you want something budget friendly for an inline, I think this one is not a bad choice. My only critique is this handle, and I don't like, if you can see here, I like the size to be kind of ingrained or into the actual handle so it doesn't rub off. So that's a slight critique, just my own personal preference, but may not matter to you. But I think this is a nice budget-friendly option as well. I think the handle is pretty, but for me, the functionality of it just doesn't work. But if I need something in a pinch and I need an A-line option, I would pick this one up. So that's an option as well. That's in my stash. I think that's all the inline ones that I have. So let's move on to the tapered option. So let me see what I have in that. Let's go with, now these are ones that I just picked up, and I'm pleasantly surprised with these. I have seen a lot of crocheters use this particular brand, and I couldn't get my hands on. I couldn't find it for some reason. Maybe I was just typing in the wrong thing, but I couldn't wait to get these. Again, I'm a sucker for packaging, how things are made, the design options of them. So these dots hooks were something I really wanted to get my hands on, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I'm happy that I did. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I believe 9 in a pack. Love the price. I got them on a little bit of a sale. They are, for as a recording of this video, they are on sale on Amazon. But these, I absolutely love these. Now, I don't necessarily, I guess I shouldn't say I don't like, but it has to be a certain feel for me to go with a longer hook. Because again, my hands are smaller. I feel like I got a magic wand in my hand if I have a long hook. But these, I'm telling you, go through the yarn like butter. I really, really, really like these. So these are a tapered crochet hook, and the dots are a yes for me. I really like it. I like the grip. I like the handle. I can crochet for a good length of time without, you know, hand fatigue with these. I like that the size is ingrained in the handle here, so I don't have to worry about it rubbing off, and then, you know, I have to figure out the size of the hook. It's right in there for me, so I like that. I love the design feature. I think they did a good job with this. Again, goes to the yarn like butter, so I definitely like these. So if you're a tapered crocheter, I highly recommend these. I really like those. So my last two in my stash that are my go-tos are, and I don't think this is any surprise or any shock to anyone, the widely liked Clover Amour. These are my number ones. Absolutely love them. I go and just, unless they just have my heart. That's all I can say. I love these, worth every penny of them. Uh, I'm surprised that they don't cost more, but I'm glad that they don't. But very user friendly. I could just fly through my stitches, and I'm a slower crochet. I don't move fast at all. But these, it's just the stitches just, oh, it's just a lovely experience using these. So the Clover Amours, definitely 10 out of 10, recommend. Get these if you like a taper. And I'm not even going to say, I know they're not biased, but I like these a lot. So I have several of these in different sizes because they're my go-to and I reach for those. If they're occupied, I will go for the dots now that I have that option, but these are definitely something I will go and grab when I'm, starting a new project. So these are definitely my go-tos. I like these, and I like the soft touch of the Clover Amours as well. Now I am going to ding these a little bit, even though the hook does go through the yarn like butter. I would have to say for this part here, it is a very hard plastic. So after a while, I do find that my hands do get a little fatigued with these, but I will pick these up just because I like the crochet experience with these, because they just float through the yarn like, but even that a yarn that's not so, how do I want to say this, user friendly or a little rough, like that peaches and cream yarn, shout out to peaches and cream, but that is, kind of a hard yarn, sorry for people that like it, but for me, it's kind of a tough yarn to work with. But even with that yarn, it flows right through it. So I definitely love these. Again, I gotta take some points off for this handle. I wish they, made it. I'm not sure why they call it soft touch. This is not too soft. But if, that's something that doesn't bother you, and they're really relatively, nicely priced. So I think this is a definite go-to as well. So I love my Clovers. Those are going to be my number one choice for price and functionality. Clovers they're that girl for me. So now I do have two other things to show you before I let you go. I just wanted to have that experience of interchangeables. I knit as well. So I have interchangeable needles. So I thought that it was cool to have some crochet interchangeable hooks. So with that being said, now, if you are of an advanced age like myself, and you need some assistance when you're working with darker yarn, then I would recommend these light hooks. Now, when I say light hooks, I'm going to demonstrate what I mean when I say lighted hooks. But you get a lot in this set, and this set is by BuyMeACoffee, I think that's how you pronounce it. But you get a lot in this set. So these are inline hooks, and you have the metal here, and then you have the plastic here. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. These are not my go-to hooks. I only use these when I am using like a black yarn or a navy yarn, something to that effect. And I need the stitches to be well lit. And because my eyes, these are middle-aged eyes, and they can't, I don't see like I used to. So I need that assistance. So all you have to do basically with these is you got your base here, and then you put on your plastic part. Actually, let me get a bigger one. You put on your plastic part here, and you just screw it on. It snaps on very easily, okay? And then you just click on the light, and you see here how it's very illuminated. Oh, you click there, it's very illuminated. I need to charge it, but you get the hint on what it does here. It's very illuminated, and as you're crocheting, you can see your stitches a lot better. You're not struggling, having any eye strain, trying to do crochet in darker yarn. So I like it for that purpose, but as soon as I'm done with the darker yarn, I'm going to be honest with you, I do not use these that much. But for functionality, and so you don't have to shy away from darker yarns, this is an option. So for all that you get, I think the price is not bad, and for its utility, I like that as well. So an option for, you know, those that struggle like me with, you know, your eyesight, with that dark yarn, but you want to use dark yarn, there is hope. So that's that option. And my last one to show you that's in my stash is, now this is from Knit Pro. Knit Pro did a big one with this one. I love the packaging. Again, I'm really, really into packaging. So I like how this is packaged up. If I'm traveling, I could just throw this in my luggage. Good to go. Don't have to worry about anything. Now, again, we're all about transparency over here on this channel. This was not cheap. I'm going to just be honest with you. But if you want to splurge a little bit, give yourself a little bit of a treat, if you have some spare coins around, I like this one as an interchangeable set. So now I did take the measuring tape off, so that's missing in here, but you do get a nice little measuring tape as well. So let me show you what you get. Now this is, now they're in rose gold. And this is, let me see, this is an inline set as well. So I vary, I go back and forth. I just have a preference for the tapers, but I like this set. Very smooth. Knit Pro has some great items. I like their knitting items as well. But you have a nice wide variety here. I believe this goes from size 2.0 to 8, but don't quote me on that. Again, I'll put all that in the description. You have this, I believe it's birchwood handle. You have some scissors, then you have your measuring tape. I took that out. I'm using that for something. And then you have some stitch markers. So very nice set. Again, it's a little bit on the pricier side, but hold out. You may be able to get a sale. They do have another one that is of a lesser cost, but the hooks are not as big. But let me just show you how this one attaches as well. So you have your base here, and then you just screw this on like so. And now you have your crochet hook. I love the weight of this. I love, actually, this might not be a inline. This might be a tapered. So I'll have to do a little investigating on that. But at any rate, this is, I love the weight of this. Very sturdy. Love the nice rose gold. Looks very luxe. Love this one. So again, if you want to treat yourself to a nice knitting experience, spend a little bit more on your tools, this Knit Pro interchangeable set is a nice set. So that's my stash, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which one you're thinking about picking up in the comments. Feel free to let me know what your favorites are. I love to experiment. That's what this channel is all about. And once I get it, I'll bring it to you, and then we can have a discussion about it. So feel free to like the video. That helps the channel immensely. That gets the word out into the interwebs. And consider subscribing. I would love to have you as part as the Yarn Lover family. And that way you'll get notified when I do publish any other videos like this, reviews, and tutorials. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.